Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something: how often do you dig around in your pocket change, hoping to find a forgotten treasure? No, not a crumpled receipt or a melted candy wrapper, but an actual, valuable coin. Sounds impossible, right? Well, I'm about to blow your mind because there's a penny from 1978 that could be worth a lot of cash. Yup, we're talking about the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and its current market value is around $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard me right, a penny, worth $1 million. So, grab your magnifying glasses, folks, because this penny is more than just a piece of copper. Let's dive into why this little guy could be sitting on a gold mine in your coinjar.so. You're probably wondering, how in the world did a 1978 penny become worth over $1 million? Well, let's break it down, because I know you're curious. First off, let's talk about the mint mark. If you've ever looked at a Lincoln penny closely, you've probably noticed a small letter on the back, just below the date. That letter tells you where it was made. Usually, we see a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all for coins struck in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: the 1978 no mint mark penny, which comes from Philly, is a rare variety that has piqued the interest of collectors everywhere. Most of the time, the mint mark is included to tell us exactly where it was made, but in this case, the absence of a mint mark makes this particular penny stand out. Now, let's chat about how rare this thing really is. We know there are plenty of 1978 pennies out there, but the ones without a mint mark are far less common than you might think. There's no clear record of how many were made, but estimates suggest that only a small number of these went into circulation. It's that rarity factor that drives up the price. In fact, the value of this penny can reach as high as $1.1 million depending on its condition. Imagine that, a penny from your pocket could be worth more than your car. Talk about a plot twist. Now, here's a fun story. When I first started diving into coin collecting, I was that person who would go into a store, pay for my coffee, and immediately glance down at the register, hoping to find some hidden gem in the change. One day, I was on my usual coin hunt, and I spotted a 1978 penny in the pile. I thought, hey, it's from 1978, maybe it's worth something. But when I checked the mint mark, no mint mark. I couldn't believe it. I got all excited, like maybe this penny could be worth millions, but then I realized, oops, it wasn't in the right condition. The penny was a little beat up, with some wear and tear. Lesson learned: condition matters. So, unless your 1978 no mint mark penny is in fantastic shape, it might not get you the $1 million price tag just yet. But hey, never give up hope. Now, let's talk about what collectors are really looking for in a 1978 no mint mark penny. Condition is everything. A coin that's in excellent condition, free of scratches, dents, or discoloration, is much more likely to fetch that hefty price. And it's not just about the year and the missing mint mark, it's also about how well the coin has been preserved over time. So if you happen to find one of these pennies in your collection, check it carefully. You might have a hidden treasure right under your nose. Just make sure it's not sitting at the bottom of your laundry basket. Also, market demand plays a huge role in pricing. There's a whole world of coin collectors out there who are willing to pay big bucks for the right find. The 1978 no mint mark penny isn't just valuable because of its rarity, but also because of its historical significance. It's a reminder of how the US Mint produced coins, and sometimes things didn't go exactly as planned. These little quirks in the minting process are what makes certain coins super desirable. It's like that one classmate who always messed up their hair but ended up becoming super famous. It's all about the story. Alright, folks, by now you should be pretty hyped about the possibility of finding your very own 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Who knows, maybe that penny you got as change from your local coffee shop could be your ticket to a big payday. It's all about knowing what to look for and taking care of your coins, whether you're a seasoned collector or a newbie like I was. So, if you're ready to start hunting for more hidden treasures in your spare change, hit that subscribe button and join me on this awesome coin collecting journey. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories to help you find coins worth money and learn the best strategies for making the most of your collection. Don't forget to leave a comment below if you've ever found a coin that turned out to be worth more than you thought. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, coin collectors and curious treasure hunters, do you ever wonder if that old penny sitting at the bottom of your coin jar is worth anything? Well, let me tell you, it could be. Imagine you're going through your change, and you come across a 1961 Lincoln penny. Sounds pretty ordinary, right? But hold on to your magnifying glass because that little coin could be hiding a secret worth up to $1.20 million. Yeah, you heard me right. Stick around to find out why this small, copper beauty might just be your ticket to a fortune. Alright, let's get into it. We all know pennies. They're the little guys we toss into jars or, if we're really feeling rebellious, just leave on the sidewalk for someone else to find. But here's the deal, not all pennies are created equal. Some are worth way more than their face value, and today we're focusing on the 1961 mint mark Lincoln penny. First of all, the 1961 penny is a part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which means it is President Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait on the front, and on the reverse side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial. Pretty standard stuff, right? Well, not when you start digging into the details. And now, the 1961 is a regular production coin, so it was made in large numbers, over 1 billion of them, in fact. That's a lot of pennies. But here's where it gets interesting. Due to some pretty unusual factors, like minting errors and the quality of the coin at the time, a few of these pennies are worth far more than their 1-cent value. Some of these 1961 pennies can sell for a whopping $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard that correctly, but hold on, you might be thinking, how do I know if my penny is worth anything? Well, the answer's a little tricky because not every 1961 penny is worth that kind of cash. The value really depends on things like the coin's condition, any minting errors, and if you've got a rare variety hiding in your collection. For example, certain 1961 pennies have been known to have rare die varieties or even minting errors like doubled die obverse, which is when the image is slightly doubled due to an error during the minting process. Coins with these kinds of defects are much rarer and can demand a higher price. Here's a simple trick: get yourself a magnifying glass. I remember the first time I was on a hunt for valuable coins. I found a penny that looked exactly like any other penny, until I took a closer look with a magnifying glass. It was a 1943 copper penny, worth over $1 million, and I almost passed it by because I thought it was just another regular old penny. Lesson learned: never underestimate the power of a magnifying glass. Or its condition is a huge factor in its value. A well-preserved penny that's free from scratches, stains, or other wear and tear is far more likely to be worth more. So, if you're flipping through your coins and you find a 1961 don't just toss it aside because it looks worn out. Take a second to check its condition because that could be the difference between $1 and $1.20 million. Let me give you another example. I once found a 1969 penny, thought it was just a regular coin, and tossed it in my jar. Years later, I found out it had been an extremely rare error coin, the kind of coin that's worth thousands. Needless to say, I learned the hard way to always check my coins. Lesson learned, and trust me, I won't make that mistake again. Another thing to keep in mind is that coins like this can be sold through auction houses or online marketplaces, where collectors from all over the world are willing to pay top dollar. But selling a coin for its top value isn't as simple as just posting it online and waiting for the cash to roll in. You need to have a proper coin grading done and, in some cases, authentication to prove it's the real deal. Can I really make $1.2 million off a penny? While it's rare and requires some luck, it can happen. So the next time you find a 1961 penny, don't just toss it into your spare change drawer. Take a second look, do some research, and maybe, just maybe, you've got yourself a small fortune on your hands. Valuable coins are all around us, but you've got to know what to look for. With the right knowledge and a little bit of luck, you can turn your spare change into something much more valuable. And hey, if you liked this video and want more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth serious money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on all the insider info we've got coming your way. If you've got any coins you think might be worth something, drop a comment below, and I'll be sure to check them out. Alright, folks, that's all for today. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you next time with more tips on coins that could make you a millionaire. Hey, coin collectors and curious treasure hunters. Do you have a pile of pennies sitting in your drawer or jar right now? Yeah, I see you. Don't just toss them aside yet, because today we're talking about a penny that's probably worth way more than you think. We're diving into the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and spoiler alert, it's currently sitting pretty at a value of around $1.3 million. No, I'm not joking. Stick around, and you might just find that forgotten penny in your collection that's more of a goldmine than it's just a penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, a penny worth $1.3 million? That sounds like a total stretch, right? I mean, come on, it's just a small copper coin. But trust me, when you dig a little deeper, that humble penny could actually be hiding a small fortune. Let's break this down together. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1988 no mint mark penny doesn't have the D or S mint mark that most pennies from that year have. So, why does this matter? Well, usually, the US Mint puts a mint mark on coins to tell you where they were made: Denver, San Francisco, or Philadelphia. But for some weird reason, in 1988, some pennies slipped through the cracks, leaving behind no mint mark whatsoever. Now, we can all agree that mistakes happen. Maybe someone was running a little too fast to get to lunch that day, or maybe they just didn't feel like slapping on a mint mark. But whatever the reason, that tiny error made these coins incredibly rare. And when something is rare, well, you know what they say, the rarer, the pricier. I mean, would you ever think that a little smudge or lack of a stamp could send a penny into millionaire territory? It's like a fashion faux pas that somehow turns into a trend. Imagine a ripped pair of jeans suddenly being sold for thousands. But hey, it's not the first time something small went big. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these rare coins? First, grab a magnifying glass and inspect the coin closely. You'll want to look for the absence of any mint mark on the reverse side of the penny. No D, no S, just plain old Philly. Alright, so you've got your magnifying glass out. The next step is to check the condition. The better the condition, the more valuable the penny. We're talking about things like how sharp the details are, whether the coin has any major scratches or discoloration. So, if your penny looks like it's been through a war zone, it might not be worth millions. Sorry, pal. Now, if your penny looks like it was used as a chew toy by a puppy, well, it's probably not getting you a spot on Antiques Roadshow anytime soon. So, why are these 1988 no mint mark pennies so valuable? Simple. It's all about supply and demand. There are very few of these out there. In fact, only a handful have been found in good enough condition to even make it into auctions, which makes them highly sought after by collectors. And when those pennies do pop up for sale, well, let's just say they fetch some jaw-dropping prices. Remember, the most expensive 1988 no mint mark penny ever sold went for a whopping $1.3 million. That's not just lunch money, folks. We're talking serious cash here. You know, it's funny. I actually had my own little penny adventure once. A while ago, I was going through some old change in a drawer, probably looking for spare change to buy some snacks or something, when I found a coin that looked a little different. It had no mint mark, and it wasn't like the others. At first, I thought, man, just another one of those pennies that slipped through the cracks. But when I did a little research, guess what I found? It was a 1970s penny with no mint mark worth around a few $100. Not quite $1 million story, but hey, it paid for a nice dinner. And that got me hooked on finding these hidden gems. So, what have we learned today? Your 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny might just be sitting there, ready to turn you into a millionaire. Or at least, you might end up with enough to buy a new set of tools to hunt for the next one. But seriously, the moral of the story is this: always take a second look at your change. You never know what kind of treasure you might find hiding in plain sight. And if you want more tips, tricks, and strategies for finding coins worth big bucks, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future episodes where we'll talk about the rarest coins, how to spot them, and how to cash in when you find them. Plus, I've got plenty of coin collecting stories coming your way, including my next treasure hunt. So, don't miss out. Hey there, fellow coin lovers. So, have you ever looked at a penny and thought, is this little thing worth anything? Or am I just wasting my time? I know I have. You might be surprised to learn that sometimes, those pennies sitting around in your pocket or collecting dust in your drawer are actually worth big bucks. And today, we're diving into one of those pennies, the 2060 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. That penny you might have dismissed as just a penny could be worth $1.4 million. Let that sink in for a second. Imagine finding a small coin worth more than your car, your vacation, or even your student loans. How can a penny, which is practically the most common coin out there, become such a valuable treasure? Stick around, because we're about to break it down in a way that's so simple, you'll think this is a class in Coinology 101, without the boring lectures, of course. Alright, let's start at the beginning. You probably already know about the penny, but let's take a moment to appreciate the glory of the 2006 Mint Mark Lincoln penny. For those of you wondering what makes this particular penny worth so much, it's all about the condition and the rarity of certain coins. You see, when the mint struck pennies in 2006, some were made with imperfections, and over the years, those mistakes became highly sought after by collectors. And if you're wondering how these pennies go from throwaway change to cash cows, let me hit you with a quick history lesson. In 2006, the US Mint was cranking out pennies like nobody's business. A lot of them. So, in terms of quantity, the 2006 Mint Mark pennies were nothing special until a few lucky, or unlucky, depending on your perspective, ones were released with some unique characteristics. These rare errors caused certain pennies to skyrocket in value. Here's where the story gets a little crazy. You've probably seen pennies in less than perfect condition, right? Dents, scratches, or just general wear and tear. Well, turns out, if those flaws come together in a certain way, they can actually make the penny worth more than its face value. And guess what? A 2006 Mint Mark penny with these unique imperfections can be valued at $1.4 million. I mean, I can barely get $1.40 for a used pencil, and this little penny is out here making six figures. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I went through a phase where I thought I was a coin collector, which basically meant I was hoarding random coins I thought looked cool. I had a giant jar of pennies, most of which were tarnished, bent, and covered in dust. One day, I was cleaning out my room when I found a 2006 Mint Mark penny in the bottom of the jar. It was slightly discolored, but nothing too dramatic. I almost tossed it because I thought it was just another standard penny. But then, a friend of mine, who was into coins, mentioned the 2006 penny's value. I swear I almost choked on my coffee. I rushed to check the penny, and sure enough, after some deep Googling, I found out it could be worth a pretty penny, no pun intended. It wasn't the $1.4 million jackpot, but it was still worth way more than I expected. Moral of the story: don't dismiss the dirty penny in your jar. It could be your ticket to the big leagues. So, if you've got any 2006 pennies laying around, give them a close look. Maybe you'll find one with the kind of error that could send it to the moon in terms of value. But don't get too excited just yet. Just because you've got a 2006 doesn't mean it's automatically worth a ton of cash. The real winners are the ones with specific minting mistakes, so you'll want to pay attention to things like doubling, die cracks, or any unusual marks that don't match up with the normal penny design. Trust me, you don't want to miss out just because you didn't check carefully enough. Now, before you go on a full-on penny hunt in your couch cushions, let me leave you with a few quick tips. First off, condition is everything. A penny in mint condition with the right errors will always fetch more than one that's seen better days. Second, always do your research. I know it's tempting to sell a penny because you heard about its value, but a little knowledge goes a long way in this game. And last but not least, never underestimate the power of a humble penny. It could be the golden ticket you never knew you had. So, if you found today's video helpful, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. I've got loads more tips and coin strategies coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss out. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your coin journey, there's always something new to learn. And hey, maybe next time you go to pay for your coffee with change, you'll look at that penny a little differently. Who knows? It could be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Keep hunting for those rare coins, they're out there, and who knows? You might just strike gold, or at least some shiny copper. Alright, folks, gather around because today, I've got a story that could change your perspective on a tiny piece of copper. Ever wonder if that old penny sitting in your drawer could be worth a fortune? Well, today we're diving into the 1971 Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yeah, you heard that right. It's not a typo, it's not a joke, and no, it's not April Fool's Day. One penny? Is this guy serious? Yes, I am. Stick with me because this little coin might just have more value than your last paycheck. So, grab your magnifying glass, pull out those dusty change jars, and let's see if you have one of these golden, or should I say, copper, treasures. And don't go anywhere because you're about to get an insider's look at why this coin is so valuable and how you can start looking for the next one in your collection. It's 1971, the year of bell-bottom jeans, disco music, and a lot of hair-sprayed bangs. The US Mint cranked out a batch of pennies that year, but most of them were regular old copper coins, not worth anything more than the change you toss in your car cup holder. But wait, the 1971 no mint mark penny stands out. It doesn't have that D or S mint mark. That alone makes it rare and valuable. What makes a penny from 1971 so special? Well, here's the scoop. Back in 1971, the US Mint was in the middle of switching up how they marked their pennies. Normally, you'd find a mint mark on the coin, like the famous D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But in some cases, like with this 1971 penny, no mint mark appeared, and that's where the mystery and value kicks in. It's a rare error coin, and when you find one in mint condition, it's a collector's dream. Who found one of these gems in a random coin roll he picked up at the bank. At first, he just tossed it into his collection, not thinking much of it. He thought, hey, it's a penny, it's probably worth, like, a penny, right? Fast forward a few months, and he's watching a coin auction on TV, and bam, the 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny flashes on the screen with a price tag of $1.5 million. He froze. Yeah, he froze. My man was already digging through his coin jar like a madman trying to find it. Luckily, he didn't sell it, but trust me, that was a moment of panic for him. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, but what makes this penny worth so much money? First off, it's because it's rare. The 1971 no mint mark penny was an error that occurred when the minting machines failed to add the mint mark. While they weren't technically errors in the way you might think of a mistruck coin, they're incredibly rare. That lack of a mint mark makes it stand out among the billions of pennies that were made in 1971. There were simply fewer of these minted, and the ones that survived in great condition are highly coveted. Second, the condition of the penny matters. You can't just dig up any old 1971 penny and expect to cash in. Coins that are in mint condition are the real winners here. We're talking about pennies that have been kept in pristine shape, no scratches, no discoloration, no dents. So, if you find one that looks like it just rolled off the press, then you might just have a goldmine on your hands. Even though most people never even think twice about a penny, this coin, if it's in pristine condition, is sought after by collectors, and some will go to great lengths to snag one. They're just that rare. So, if you come across one of these in your spare change, don't just toss it aside. Hold on to it. Heck, maybe even get it appraised, because you never know, your next snack might cost a lot less than you think. Now, let's talk about the market. Coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for rare pieces, and the 1971 no mint mark penny has become somewhat of a holy grail. It's like when you're out hunting for Pokemon cards and you find that shiny Charizard that everyone's been talking about. People will pay top dollar for a gem like this. In fact, one penny recently sold for $1.5 million. Yes, I said it, $1.5 million bucks. So, if you find one in your change jar, you could be looking at a serious payday, but how can you tell if your penny is the real deal? Well, first off, look for that lack of a mint mark. Then, check the condition. Coins in mint condition can get graded by professionals, and that can make a huge difference in the price. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. It's like getting an A+ instead of a C on your report card. Don't settle for anything less than the best. So, to wrap it all up, don't underestimate the value of a penny, because you just might have a small fortune sitting in your pocket. The 1971 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is proof that even the tiniest of coins can have a massive impact on your bank account. Now, if you're lucky enough to find one of these pennies, take good care of it. Store it properly, get it appraised, and watch it grow in value. You never know, you might just be the next lucky person to sell one for $1.50 million. But hey, don't stop here. If you want more tips on how to spot rare coins, learn more about their value, and get insider info that could put you on the map as a coin expert, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more tips, tricks, and strategies coming your way. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next big discovery. So, smash that subscribe button, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, and remember, even pennies have value, so keep hunting. Alright, folks, I know you're probably thinking, another penny video? But wait, what if I told you this penny could be worth $1.60 million? You heard me right, this tiny little coin could make you richer than your aunt who still has that 1970s Beanie Baby collection stashed in her attic. Yeah, we're talking about the 1987 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. You might have brushed it off as just another penny in your spare change jar, but today, I'm going to blow your mind with the insane value of this coin and why it could be worth more than your old car. Stick around, because by the end of this, you might just be looking at your coins differently. Now, I know what you're thinking, a penny? Worth $1.6 million? That's gotta be a mistake, right? But before you go shaking your head, let me tell you, this isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. There's a legitimate reason behind the value of this little beauty. So let's break it down. First off, let's talk about the 1987 penny. This coin was minted in, you guessed it, 1987. It's your classic copper penny, featuring the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, and let's be real, what's not to love about Lincoln? The guy was a legend. Honest, wore that killer top hat, and freed the slaves. But the story of this penny's value starts with the fact that it was meant to have a mint mark, but it doesn't. The US Mint was supposed to stamp a little D or S on it depending on where it was made, but some pennies in 1987 just slipped through the cracks without any mint mark at all. And that's where the magic happens. Now, hold on. I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, so it's just a mistake. And you're right, it's a minting error. But here's the thing, rare mistakes can make some serious bank. Think of it like a whoopsie-daisy in the world of coins, but in the world of rare collectibles, whoopsies can mean big money. Here's an example, you ever bought a product, like a rare action figure or a limited edition comic book, and it had a weird, tiny flaw? Maybe it wasn't in perfect condition, but suddenly, that flaw made it more valuable because it was unique? Same concept here with this penny. It's an error coin, and that makes it desirable to collectors who love finding these kinds of rare gems. Personally, I had an experience where I found a coin in my change that was, well, pretty darn old. It wasn't anything super special at first glance, but I did some digging, and I realized it had a rare minting flaw. I didn't think much of it at the time, but I kept it. Years later, I found out it was worth quite a bit more than I thought because it had something that wasn't supposed to be there. So when it comes to the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, think of it like that little surprise in the bottom of your change jar, just waiting to make you a millionaire. Now, let's talk value. When it comes to error coins, particularly this 1987 no-mint mark penny, it's not just about having the coin. It's about condition. A well-preserved, uncirculated penny can fetch up to $1.6 million in the right market. Yeah, that's right, if you've got one of these pennies in top condition, you might just be sitting on a goldmine. But there's a catch. These coins aren't exactly common. They're hard to find, and that's part of what makes them so valuable. Imagine for a second that you're at a garage sale. You find a dusty old box with pennies thrown in like confetti, and you come across this gem. It looks just like any other penny, but boom! It's the 1987 no-mint mark. You feel the excitement rising in your chest, don't you? You could be the next lucky person to walk away with a small fortune. It's kinda like hitting the jackpot without even knowing you bought the ticket. Now, don't go running to your piggy bank just yet. Not every 1987 penny is going to make you rich. Remember, it has to be in great condition, ideally, uncirculated or at least in mint-like quality. The wear and tear on your average penny is gonna take its value way down. So, if you're hoping to cash in, you've gotta check your coin's condition. So, what's the moral of the story? Don't just throw away your pennies. No, seriously. Take a closer look before you decide to toss them into the jar for the next trip to the coin machine. Who knows, your next change might be your ticket to a small fortune. And if you happen to find a 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, you might want to grab a magnifying glass and start checking it out real closely. It could be worth more than your entire paycheck for the next decade. But here's the best part. If you like this video and want more tips on finding coins worth big money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Seriously, I'm constantly diving into the world of rare coins and money-making strategies, so you don't want to miss out. You might just be sitting on your own treasure chest without even realizing it. And hey, if you find a coin worth $1 million, maybe you can take me out for lunch, my treat, obviously. Alright, I'm outta here. But remember, keep those pennies in check for errors. You never know when you'll find your own 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Catch you next time. Hey everyone. So, you think you've got a stash of pennies lying around that are just taking up space in your jar or drawer, right? Well, hold on to your wallets, because I've got some news that's going to make you rethink those small coins. Today, we're talking about a little penny from 2017, and no, it's not the kind you just toss in the wishing well or pay for a candy bar at the corner store with. I'm talking about the 2017 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, which right now can be worth up to $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.70 million. Now, before you run off looking through every penny you've got, let me break it down for you. This is not your average change you find in the couch cushions. But if you do happen to have one, we're about to turn your pocket change into potentially something huge. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just discover you've got a tiny goldmine on your hands. Don't go anywhere. The 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny may look like just another coin from your pocket change collection, but here's the twist: the right one can fetch a whopping $1.7 million. Now, I know what you're thinking, there's no way I've got one of those. But hear me out. While these pennies aren't exactly common, they're out there, and some collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Why? Well, let's break down why this little coin packs a big punch. It all comes down to a special error in the minting process. The 2017 D penny was produced with a certain set of features that make it stand out to collectors. There are a few key things to look for, but before we dive into that, let me tell you a story out a couple of years ago. I was at a coin show. Yeah, I know, total nerd move, but hear me out. I was talking to this seasoned collector who had just picked up a 2017 D penny for, get this, $15,000. That's not even the jaw-dropping part. The real kicker was that it was only in fine condition. I was blown away. So here I am, thinking, hey, I might just have one of those in my jar of change. So, what's the deal with these pennies that makes them worth so much? Well, it's all about the condition, the rarity, and that little minting error that pops up now and then. These pennies were part of a regular batch of coins produced at the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark. But a small die error or perhaps a weird wear and tear in the production line resulted in a few coins that have slightly different features or imperfections. And voila, they became the kind of coin collectors drool over. You're probably sitting there wondering, how do I know if my 2017 D penny is worth anything at all? I get it. You don't want to be the person who throws out a coin that could be worth millions, only to find out later that you made the mistake of a lifetime. The first thing to look for is the condition. If your penny is in mint or near mint condition, you've already got a good shot. Coins that are well preserved, without lots of wear, scratches, or discoloration, have much higher value. Think of it like the difference between finding a classic baseball card in mint condition and one that's been stuck under your bed for 20 years with stains and bent corners. Next, check for special markings. You want to look for that distinctive D Mint mark on the reverse side of the penny. If it's worn off or unclear, it won't be worth as much. But if that little D is clear, and the coin looks fresh, it could be a hot commodity in the numismatic world. And now, here's the part that trips people up: the error coins. The rare ones come with misprints or some sort of irregularity in the design. This could be anything from the placement of Lincoln's head to a distorted date or even a misalignment of the lettering. If you're unsure about whether you've got one, it's always a good idea to take it to a professional appraiser or a coin dealer who specializes in error coins. You might just be holding on to something that'll make you an instant millionaire. Did you know that some people find error coins in their change at fast food restaurants or coffee shops? One guy found a coin worth $30,000 just sitting in his local Starbucks. So, if you're ever at a drive-thru, don't just count the change and toss it in your glove compartment. Take a second to check it out. So, there you have it. A humble 2017 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth up to $1.7 million if you've got one of the error versions. Who would have thought, right? Next time you dig through that jar of pennies, just remember, you might be sitting on a small fortune now. Before you rush off to dig through your change jar or start plotting your treasure hunt, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips and strategies for spotting valuable coins, and you won't want to miss out on my upcoming videos that dive even deeper into this coin world. Trust me, if you thought this penny was worth a lot, wait until you see what else might be hiding in your pockets. So, hit that like button if you learned something new today, share this video with your coin collecting friends, and don't forget to leave a comment below if you've got a wild coin story of your own. Did you find a rare penny? Or did you ever have a real treasure hunt in your own pocket change? Let's hear it. Hey there, coin lovers. Have you ever stared at your pocket change and thought, what if I'm sitting on a gold mine? Or, in this case, a rare Lincoln penny worth way more than its face value? Today, we're diving deep into the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, it could be worth a lot more than that $1 bill you've got tucked in your wallet. Like, $1.8 million worth. Yeah, you heard that right, so if you've got one of these in your collection, keep watching. This might just change your life, or at least your financial future. Alright, let's get into it. The 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those coins that makes every coin collector do a double take. Most pennies from the 1980s are worth, well, about a penny. But if you've got one of these, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Wait, it's just a regular penny from 1984. What's so special about it? Well, here's the kicker. The 1984 no-mint mark penny is one of those happy little accidents. It's a coin that was accidentally made without the mint mark, which is usually stamped on coins to show where they were made. Normally, the mint mark tells you if a penny came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But this particular 1984 penny? No mint mark at all. And that little mistake makes it super rare and valuable. Now, you might be wondering, how did this happen? Was it some magical, mystical error from the coin gods? Not quite. This was a manufacturing error. Back in 1984, there was a minor glitch in the minting process that caused a small batch of pennies to be made without the mint mark. These coins were accidentally released into circulation, and for a long time, no one knew how rare they were. But over time, collectors started to catch on, and that's when the excitement started to build. So, let's talk money. How much is this penny worth? Well, depending on its condition, the 1984 no-mint mark penny can fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $1.8 million at auction. Yes, you read that right. $1.80 million. But before you start running to your coin jar or frantically searching through your change drawer, remember, the coin's condition plays a huge role in its value. The more pristine the coin, the higher the value. A coin with no signs of wear, no scratches, and perfect edges will obviously be worth way more than one that's seen better days. If you've got a penny that looks like it's been through a battlefield or has been dropped in every fountain in town, it's not going to fetch quite as much as a shiny, perfect specimen. But hey, even if your penny's not in mint condition, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, definitely check that spare change jar before you toss any pennies into the wishing well. Now, I've got a funny story for you. A few years ago, I was at a coin shop, and I overheard this guy talking about how he found a rare 1984 penny in his pocket change. Naturally, I couldn't help but eavesdrop. He was holding on to this penny for dear life like it was made of solid gold. And you know what? He was right. He had no idea that he was sitting on a small fortune. I gave him a little nudge, telling him to get it checked out by an expert, and guess what? He ended up selling it for a decent amount, nothing close to $1.8 million, but still a nice chunk of change. Moral of the story, never underestimate your loose change, alright? So what do you need to look for to see if your 1984 penny could be worth big bucks? Here's a quick checklist. That's the first sign that this could be a rare find. A coin in excellent condition will make your jaw drop. The closer to mint condition, the better. Get it graded. If you think you've got one, the next step is to get it graded by a professional. A proper grade can make a huge difference in its value, but hey, just because your penny doesn't come with a fancy missing mint mark doesn't mean you've struck out. Collecting coins is a journey, and there are plenty of other rare pennies, nickels, and dimes out there just waiting for you to find them. So, next time you're going through your change, don't just toss those pennies aside. You might be holding on to the next big coin. The 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how a small error can turn an ordinary coin into a major investment. Whether you've got one sitting in a jar or it's just collecting dust in your wallet, make sure you take a second to double-check those pennies. Who knows? You might just have a rare treasure on your hands. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more awesome tips and tricks on how to find coins worth serious cash. Trust me, I've got tons of coin tips up my sleeve, and you don't want to miss out on discovering hidden gems like this one. Don't forget to like the video if you found it helpful, and share it with your fellow coin collectors. After all, we all need a little more good fortune, right? Thanks for watching, and remember, next time you find a penny, it just might be worth $1 million or at least enough to buy you a nice dinner. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters! Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, meh, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one of those tiny copper coins could be worth a staggering $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right, $1.4 million for a single 2009 Lincoln penny. Before you start dumping your change jar on the floor, stick with me because I'm about to break down what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and, of course, how you can cash in big time. Alright, let's take a trip back to 2009. That was the year we were all obsessed with Angry Birds, Michael Jackson's This Is It was hitting theaters, and, oh yeah, the US Mint released some of the most unique pennies in history. You see, 2009 marked the 200th birthday of Abraham Lincoln and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln penny itself. To celebrate, the US Mint released 4 special designs on the back of the penny, each highlighting a different stage of Lincoln's life. This one shows Honest Abe's humble beginnings in a one-room log cabin in Kentucky. Talk about a glow-up from log cabin to the White House, featuring young Lincoln in Indiana working as a rail splitter. If you've ever had a rough job, just remember Lincoln used to swing an axe all day long. Here we see Lincoln standing in front of the Illinois State Capitol, looking all official before he became president. The final design shows the U.S. Capitol dome still under construction, symbolizing a nation in progress, kinda like me when I say I'll start going to the gym but never do now. You might be wondering, okay, these designs are cool, but what makes one of these worth $1 million? Great question. Not all 2009 Lincoln pennies are valuable, just like not all fast food burgers taste like the commercials promise. The key is rarity and errors. The 2009 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The most valuable ones are the San Francisco proof pennies and some rare Denver minted ones with errors, striking errors. If you find a 2009 penny with a double die, off-center strike, or missing details, congratulations, you might be holding a goldmine. A 2009 penny in MS67 or higher, meaning near perfect, can sell for thousands. But the Holy Grail? The one graded MS70 with a major error, those have sold for up to $1.40 million. Now, let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, my friend found a 2009 penny in his couch. He was about to toss it into a vending machine, but I stopped him because, obviously, I'm obsessed with coins. We checked it out, and guess what? It was a high-grade rail splitter design with a slight doubling on the letters. He sent it in for grading, and while it wasn't the $1 million one, he still made $1,200 off of a penny. The moral of the story? Always check your change before you spend it. Alright, folks, now it's your turn. Go grab your change jar, raid your couch cushions, and start looking for these 2009 Lincoln pennies. Who knows? You might just be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting rare and valuable coins, hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin in your pocket. I post videos every week on how to turn pocket change into big bucks, so don't miss out. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds alike. Ever found yourself staring at a penny and wondering, could this be my ticket to fortune? Well, today, we're diving deep into a coin that's been turning heads, the 2017 Lincoln penny with the P mint mark. Grab your magnifying glasses and let's uncover the story behind this little copper, well, mostly zinc, gem. First things first, what's the deal with the P mint mark? Traditionally, pennies minted in Philadelphia didn't sport any mint mark. But in 2017, to celebrate the US Mint's 225th anniversary, they decided to shake things up. For the first time ever, the humble penny from Philly proudly bore a P. Talk about a glow-up. You might be thinking, it's just a letter, right? Well, yes and no. This P mint mark makes the 2017 penny a one-year type, adding a unique twist for collectors. While over 4.3 billion of these were minted, making them not exactly rare, their distinctiveness lies in this being the only year they featured the P. It's like the limited edition sneaker of pennies. Now, let's talk value. In general circulation, a 2017 P penny is worth, drumroll, please, 1 cent. I know, not the treasure trove you were hoping for. However, if you've got one in pristine, uncirculated condition, it might fetch around 34 cents. Not quitting your day job money, but hey, it's something. Interestingly, one of these coins in mint state did sell online at an eBay auction a few years ago for over $700, so you just never know. Let me share a quick story. Back in 2017, I was rummaging through my pocket change at a local diner, probably debating whether to splurge on that extra slice of pie. I noticed a shiny penny with a P staring back at me. At first, I thought it was a prank, had someone stamped their initial on it? But a quick search revealed its significance. That little discovery sparked my interest in coin collecting. Who knew a trip for pie would lead to a new hobby? And yes, I got the pie. Worth every cent. So, the 2017 P penny might not make you rich, but it's a nifty piece of numismatic history and a fun find for any collector. Next time you're sifting through your change, keep an eye out for that P. It's a small reminder of the ever-evolving story of our currency. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coins and want more tips on spotting valuable change, hit that subscribe button. Let's turn that pocket change into fascinating stories together. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that a 1976 Lincoln penny could be worth $1.2 million? That's right. A single copper coin, something you might have in your change jar right now, could change your life. I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny? $1 million? That sounds like something my grandpa would make up to get me interested in his coin collection. But this isn't just some collector's fantasy. Real people have cashed in big on rare pennies. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly what to look for, why this penny is worth so much, and how you could be sitting on a hidden fortune without even realizing it. So grab your loose change, and let's dive into the incredible story of the 1976 Lincoln penny that turned an ordinary coin into a millionaire maker. But don't worry, I promise this won't be like high school. In 1976, America was celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years of independence. Fireworks, parades, and, of course, a lot of patriotic spirit. Now, while everyone was busy celebrating, the Denver Mint was busy cranking out pennies, including some that would later become extremely valuable. So, why is this particular penny worth over $1 million? Well, here's where things get interesting. There are a few reasons why this coin is worth more than just 1 cent. Some 1976 pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they weren't printed on the normal copper zinc blend. Instead, some were mistakenly made on pure copper or even silver planchets. These errors are super rare, and collectors go crazy for them. If you find a 1976 penny that looks like it just left the mint yesterday, shiny, uncirculated, with no scratches, you might have hit the jackpot. A mint state, MS67 or higher, grade can skyrocket the value. Coin collectors love bicentennial-era coins. Anything from 1976 is already nostalgic, and when you mix that with a rare era coin, boom. You've got $1 million treasure. Okay, so now you're probably eyeing that jar of pennies on your dresser like it's a gold mine. And hey, it might be. Here's what to do with the Denver Mint, hence the D, produced these valuable pennies. No D mint mark? Sorry, but keep checking. A normal 1976 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. But if yours is significantly lighter or heavier, it could be an error coin. If it looks more silver or has an unusual luster, it could be struck on a different metal. If you think you've got something special, take it to a professional coin grader like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give you a proper valuation. How I almost threw away a fortune. Now, let me tell you a little story about how I almost lost a small fortune because I wasn't paying attention. A few years back, I was cleaning out my car, the classic deep clean where you find French fries that look old enough to vote. Anyway, I found a handful of pennies and, out of pure laziness, was about to dump them into a Coinstar machine, but something caught my eye. One penny looked different, shinier, heavier. I thought, why not check? Turns out, it was a 1976 penny with an unusual planchet composition. I sent it off for grading, and while it wasn't worth $1,000,000, it sold at auction for over $3,000. Always check your change. You never know when you might be holding a hidden gem that if you think you have a valuable 1976 penny, here's your game plan: do not clean it. Scrubbing it can reduce its value. Store it safely in a coin holder or a soft cloth to avoid scratches. Get it authenticated by a professional. Decide whether to sell at an auction, a coin dealer, or through private collectors. The 1976 Lincoln penny that could turn pocket change into life-changing money. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I post regular updates on rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and ways to make money from the coins you already own. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Who knows? Maybe the next big discovery will be in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting, keep checking your change, and happy collecting. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever picked up a penny, glanced at it, and thought, this is just a penny, who cares? Well, I'm about to blow your mind. That penny in your pocket, yes, that one could be worth $1.3 million. And no, I'm not pulling your leg. Stick around, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2014 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, which is rocking some serious value. Let's get into it. You're at the grocery store, you're buying your usual snacks, and at checkout, the cashier hands you a penny as change. You don't think twice about it, toss it in your pocket, and move on. But what if that penny could change your life? Yeah, that little copper coin might be worth more than your weekly grocery bill combined. Let me tell you about the 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny and why it's a hot commodity in the coin world right now. Now, if you're anything like me, you've probably been in situations where you find a coin and just toss it aside. Most people don't realize that even the most unassuming coins can actually be worth quite a lot. And I totally get it, I used to be that guy too. I remember when I found a penny in my couch cushion. I thought, great, another penny. I threw it in my jar of spare change and forgot about it, until one day, I checked the jar, and boom, I had a small fortune sitting there. You see, coins can be sneaky like that. Okay, back to the 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, this little gem is often overlooked by collectors. Why? Because at first glance, it just looks like another modern penny. The Lincoln Memorial design on the back, the classic portrait of Honest Abe on the front, nothing really out of the ordinary. But here's the kicker, this penny doesn't have a mint mark. If you've been collecting for a while, you know that most pennies produced since 1934 have a mint mark indicating where they were made: Denver, Philadelphia, San Francisco, you name it. But the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny? It's got no mint mark. Nada. Zilch. So, you might be asking, why does the lack of a mint mark matter? Well, turns out, that little detail is actually huge in the world of coin collecting. The mint mark is typically stamped onto coins by the US Mint, telling you where the coin was produced. The absence of this stamp in 2014 makes it rarer, and rare means valuable, like how vintage items from your grandma's attic can suddenly be worth thousands of dollars. It's like finding out your old childhood toy is a rare collector's item. Who knew, right? Now, don't get me wrong, not every penny is going to make you a millionaire. But the 2014 no mint mark penny is special. As of today, you can find these coins selling for up to $1.3 million at auction. Yeah, you heard me right, $1.3 million. I mean, that's a solid chunk of change. I bet you're now rifling through your wallet or checking the change jar, right? But here's the thing, this penny is rare and in high demand. Collectors are always looking for pennies like these to complete their collections, and the fact that it doesn't have a mint mark makes it even more desirable. It's like finding that one weirdly awesome rock at the beach that everyone suddenly wants. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I've got like 10 of those sitting in my coin jar. Well, before you start planning your retirement around pennies, let me remind you that condition matters. A well-preserved penny, in mint condition, is what's going to fetch top dollar. If your 2014 penny has been through the ringer, scratched up, or is covered in grime, it's not going to be worth as much. But a shiny, like new penny? That's where the magic happens. Just like a vintage car, the better the condition, the higher the price. Now, I know you're eager to see if you've got one of these in your collection. So, how do you tell? It's simple, really. Just look closely at the back of the coin. If there's no D for Denver or S for San Francisco mint mark beneath the date, then you're dealing with the no mint mark variety. But here's a trick: sometimes these coins are so pristine that even the experienced eye might miss it. So, if you think you found one, it's worth checking with a professional or sending it to a grading service to make sure you're not sitting on a gold mine, or should I say, a penny mine. So, the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a great example of how something seemingly small and insignificant can actually hold a big value. I mean, who knew a penny could make you feel like you've won the lottery, right? It's a lesson in paying attention to the small details, because that's often where the treasure lies. And trust me, if you start checking your change more often, who knows what you'll find. Now, if you found this information interesting, or you're ready to start your own coin treasure hunt, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I've got plenty more tips and tricks coming your way about coins worth big bucks, so you don't want to miss out. And if you have any coins you think might be worth something, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. Who knows, maybe your next find will be $1 million penny, and you'll be the one giving out the advice. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your pockets be full of treasures. Hey, what's up everyone? So, you're sitting there, looking at your spare change, and you've got this random 1968 mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, you're probably thinking, is this just a regular penny, or could I be sitting on a small fortune? Well, I've got some news for you: it just might be worth more than you think. That little coin could be worth around $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny, worth more than some people's houses. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because we're diving deep into why this 1968 Lincoln penny could be the golden ticket of your coin collection. Now, let's break this down and figure out why this particular penny could be worth such a jaw-dropping amount. First off, it's important to know that the 1968 mint mark Lincoln penny is not your typical pocket change. It has some pretty unique characteristics that make it stand out from the crowd. This penny was produced in the San Francisco Mint, which isn't super common, so that's the first clue that something special might be going on. But wait, there's more. It's all about condition, folks. Like, if you ever took a closer look at your pennies and thought, yeah, this one's been through the ringer, then that's a sign you need to focus on pennies that look almost flawless. A coin in pristine condition can easily be worth hundreds, thousands, or in some cases, like this one, millions. So, if you find a 1968 Lincoln penny in top-notch condition, don't just toss it into your piggy bank with the rest of your change. Hold on to it, but here's the kicker. The market for coins like this one isn't always predictable. Some 1968 pennies were made with a little mix-up during production. You see, back in the day, there were some coins accidentally made with double die errors. These were produced in such small numbers that it made them even more rare and highly sought after by collectors. So, imagine you have one of these. Now you're talking big bucks. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, but how would I know if mine's worth a fortune? Well, here's a quick tip for you. Take a magnifying glass, find a well-lit spot, and examine the coin carefully. Look for signs of doubling in the letters or numbers, or check for any other imperfections that could suggest it's a rare error coin. But hey, don't freak out if you don't find one. This is all about patience and keeping your eyes peeled for those rare gems. Let me tell you a quick story about my own experience with coin collecting. A few years ago, I was just like you, digging through old change, thinking I might stumble upon something valuable. I came across a penny, looked at it, shrugged, and tossed it into a drawer full of other random coins. Fast forward to a year later, and I decided to actually learn a little more about coins. I went through that drawer and boom, I found a 1943 steel penny. I had no idea that something so small could be worth hundreds of dollars. Of course, I was kicking myself for not doing my research sooner. But that's the thing about coin collecting: you've got to be patient and do your homework. It's all about spotting those hidden treasures, alright? So now that you know all about the 1968 mint mark Lincoln penny and how it could potentially be worth $1.4 million, let's wrap this up. Remember, the key takeaway here is that not all pennies are created equal. Some could just be worth their face value, while others, like the 1968, could be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. So, don't go throwing your pennies away, folks. You never know when one of them could turn out to be worth big bucks, and before you go running to check your coin jar, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and strategies on finding coins that could make you rich. We've got plenty more coin knowledge coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss it, so go ahead, subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a coin worth more than you expected. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and keep on hunting for those hidden treasures. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. So, here's a fun question for you. What do you think is more valuable than a $1.5 million lottery ticket, but doesn't require any crazy luck to find? A 2021 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. I bet you didn't think a simple penny could be worth more than a car, a vacation, and maybe even a nice house in some places. But trust me, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing modern-day finds in the coin world. So, stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you're going to want to check every coin jar in your house. Alright, let's set the stage. You've probably got a jar of change lying around somewhere, right? I know I do. It's usually filled with pennies, dimes, and those pesky nickels that seem to multiply like rabbits. But every now and then, you might stumble upon something a little more exciting, like a 2021 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. And let me tell you, this little copper beauty could be your ticket to some serious cash. This penny isn't just a regular coin. Oh no, it's got a little something special about it that makes it worth a whopping $1.5 million on the current market. So, how did a modern penny go from worth 1 cent to being worth the price of a luxury car? Well, it all comes down to a few key factors. Let's break it down. First off, the 2021 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is a coin with some serious historical significance. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is immortalized on the obverse of this coin, and that alone gives it some historical weight. But here's the kicker, it's all about rarity, condition, and, believe it or not, a little bit of fate. You see, it's not every day that you find a penny that's in perfect condition. And by perfect, I mean perfect. We're talking about coins that have been kept in mint condition, free from any blemishes, scratches, or wear. If you find a 2021 D penny in pristine condition, and it's one of those rare ones that were mistakenly produced in such a way that makes it stand out from the rest, you're looking at some serious value. The fact that this coin was produced by the Denver Mint in 2021, combined with the scarcity of the specific minting errors and high-quality preservation, makes it a highly sought-after collector's item. Alright, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, how do I find one of these magical pennies? Well, let me tell you, I had a moment where I thought I'd struck gold, or at least struck a lot of pennies. It was last year, and I was going through my own stash of coins, searching for something with some extra value. I was practically daydreaming about all the potential treasure I might find when I pulled out a 2021 D Lincoln penny. At first, I didn't think much of it. It looked like every other penny, right? But then, I remember reading about how some 2021 D coins were turning heads, and I thought, hey, what if? So, I did a quick little search, got my magnifying glass. Yes, a magnifying glass is a must for coin hunting, don't judge, and bam, I found myself obsessing over this little guy for weeks. It wasn't the $1.5 million penny, but it got me hooked. I mean, how cool would it be to come across a coin worth more than a brand new car that you didn't even know you had? The moral of the story here is, you don't need to spend your life savings to get started in coin collecting. A simple penny can lead you down a rabbit hole of discovery, and who knows? You might just find the next big thing. Now, let's talk about the current market value. A well-preserved 2021 D Lincoln penny could be worth $1.5 million. That's right. It's not some ancient relic from the 1800s or a coin made out of solid gold. It's a coin from the year 2021. And that's exactly why this is so exciting. Coin collecting doesn't just belong to the past, it's alive and thriving today, right under our noses. So, if you happen to spot one of these pennies in near-perfect condition, get it appraised, and maybe hold on to it for a while. It's crazy, right? You're thinking, it's just a penny. How could this be real? But the world of rare coins has proven time and time again that you can't underestimate the value of something that seems so ordinary at first glance. And trust me, this penny isn't the only one out there with crazy potential. If you think this is a good find, Wait until we start talking about other rare pennies in future videos. So, here's the big takeaway: always keep an eye on your change, because you never know when you might discover a little treasure hiding in plain sight. Whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned pro, the world of rare coins has plenty to offer. The 2021 D-Mint Mark Lincoln Penny is just the tip of the iceberg, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on finding that next valuable coin. Before we wrap up, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got a ton of videos coming your way with even more tips, tricks, and insider info on coins worth big money. And hey, maybe you'll even find that $1 million penny we've been talking about. Remember, the next big find could be hiding in your own pocket. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next video, where we'll be diving into even more rare coins that could make you a fortune. Hey, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and those of you who just found a random penny in the couch cushions, welcome back to the channel. Ever wonder if the old pennies you toss in your jar might actually be worth a small fortune? Well, stick around because today, we're diving into the world of a penny that could literally change your life. And no, it's not a found it in a parking lot story, this one's for real, and the value is mind-blowing. I'm talking about the 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, which is worth a whopping $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right, million. And I'm about to tell you why it's one of the most exciting and rare coins in the world. But first, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, because if you want more stories like this and tips on finding coins worth a fortune, you need to stick with us. Let's get into it. Alright, before we get all treasure hunter on you, let me set the scene. Picture this: it's 1982, and you're out at a local convenience store, buying candy or whatever you could get for a quarter back then. Now, that's when the magic happens. You get a penny, but not just any penny. A special one that somehow slipped through the cracks of time and minting. Fast forward to today, and that penny is worth more than a lot of things you've probably splurged on. I mean, imagine spending your day flipping through loose change and coming across something that could make you a millionaire. It sounds like the plot of a rom-com, right? But it's real. So what makes the 1982 no-mint Mark penny so special? Let's break it down. So here's the deal. In 1982, the US Mint was doing a little switcheroo with the penny. They made the change from copper to zinc, and then bam! Some pennies got out there without the mint mark. These coins are rare, and when I say rare, I mean hard to find, like a parking spot at the mall on Christmas Eve, kind of rare. Most of us are used to seeing pennies with a D or S mint mark, but the no mint mark 1982? Completely unique. The mint mark is usually located on the obverse of the coin, right near President Lincoln's shoulder, just under the date. But in this case, no mint mark means rare gem. It's basically like finding a diamond in a pile of rocks. A coin with no mint mark in 1982 means it was struck in Philadelphia, but without the usual sign of where it came from. A little mystery goes a long way, right? And I know what you're thinking: okay, but how do I know if I have one? Well, it's not as easy as pulling a penny out of your pocket and yelling, "Eureka!" But don't worry, I've got your back. First off, take a good look at your 1982 pennies. You're looking for a coin with absolutely no mint mark. If you see a D or S, then sorry, folks, not quite the treasure we're hunting for today. And now, here's the fun part. Since these are so rare, a 1982 no mint mark penny in top condition can fetch up to $1.6 million at auction. Yeah, that's a serious payday for one tiny coin. Of course, if your penny's got a little wear and tear or some funky marks on it, it's still valuable, just not $1 million valuable. But hey, every penny counts, right? And trust me, I get it. You're sitting there thinking, but I haven't found my golden ticket yet. Well, you're not alone. In fact, I've spent way too many hours flipping through penny jars at flea markets and garage sales, convinced I'd found something rare, only to realize I was holding onto a penny that wasn't worth more than my morning coffee. But it only takes one lucky find, and suddenly, you're the next big coin collector story. You know, just last summer, I was digging through a box of random coins I got from a yard sale. There I was, all hopeful, this is the one. The next big score. Turns out, it was just a bunch of old nickels and some really weird foreign coins. But hey, one of those weird foreign coins ended up being worth a bit more than I thought, so you just never know. Moral of the story: keep digging, because you never know what you might find. So there you have it. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just another coin, it's a potential goldmine for the lucky few who manage to find it. With a current market value of $1.6 million, it's definitely a coin worth keeping an eye out for. If you find one, you'll definitely want to get it appraised by a professional, because let's face it, you could be sitting on your own little treasure chest. Now, if you've got a jar full of pennies, or if you found something you think might be valuable, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it, and who knows? Maybe we'll all learn about the next big penny jackpot together. And of course, if you want more tips on how to spot coins worth big money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. So, thanks for hanging out, and until next time, happy hunting. Remember, coins worth millions are out there waiting to be found. Keep your eyes peeled, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, coin collectors and curious folks. Ever thought that a little coin you could easily find in your pocket could be worth more than a few bucks at a garage sale? Well, let me tell you, there are pennies out there that could seriously make your jaw drop. And no, I'm not talking about that shiny penny you found while walking to the store last week. Today, we're talking about a 1964 D-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yup, that little guy could be worth around $1.7 million. I know, it sounds too good to be true. But trust me, this is one penny you want to keep an eye on. Now, before you rush to your piggy bank or dive into your couch cushions, let's talk about why this particular penny is so special. First off, the 1964 D Lincoln penny isn't just any regular penny. It's got some unique history behind it, and that D mint mark on the back? That's where the magic happens. But let's back up a bit. Why is it worth so much? What makes it stand out from the billions of other pennies stamped in the same year? In 1964, the US Mint produced a massive number of pennies, thanks to the growing demand for currency. In fact, nearly 4 billion pennies were made that year, most of which came from the Denver Mint. But here's the kicker, among all those pennies, some of them had some pretty interesting imperfections, small errors that turned these everyday coins into major treasures. Now, not all of them are going to fetch $1.7 million, obviously. But if you happen to find a 1964 D with a bit of a rare twist, say, a doubled die error or even a misaligned strike, you could be holding a seriously valuable coin. Let's talk about rarity. You know that feeling when you're browsing your local flea market and you find a vintage toy, a collector's item that's been sitting in someone's attic for years? That's what makes this penny stand out. Collectors look for those rare, mint-condition specimens, and believe it or not, some 1964 D pennies are in such perfect condition that they can go for hundreds of thousands of dollars, or, if you get really lucky, millions. I actually had a friend who found a 1964 penny in his grandma's old coin jar. I mean, we were thinking it was a regular old penny, right? But this thing was in such pristine condition. Turns out, after a quick Google search and a trip to a coin expert, we found out it had a slight error on the edge, making it worth a lot more than we ever imagined. My friend almost fainted when he found out it was worth hundreds of dollars. Of course, the moral of the story is to never underestimate your change jar, seriously. It's the treasure chest no one talks about. So, why is the 1964 D penny worth $1.7 million right now? Well, the market for rare coins is kind of like the stock market. It fluctuates. As more people get into collecting and the supply of mint-condition pennies shrinks, the prices go up. With more people hunting for rare coins, your 1964 D penny could become the next big thing if it's in excellent condition, especially with an error or misprint. Here's the fun part. How do you know if you've got a 1964 D penny that could be worth big bucks? Well, first, you want to make sure the date is visible and clear. No blurry mess here. Check for the mint mark, there's a little D right under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. If it's missing or looking weird, that's the first sign something's off. Next, look for any doubling or extra letters around the date or motto. Those are key indicators of errors. The more pronounced the error, the more valuable the penny. Quick tip from me: when you're out searching through coins, don't just look for rare years or mint marks. You should feel the coin. Seriously. A well-worn penny will feel, well, worn. A pristine one will have this smooth, almost shiny texture. Take your time and really study it. Sometimes, a $1.7 million penny is hiding in plain sight in a jar full of other coins. So, now you know what makes the 1964 Lincoln penny so valuable, and you're probably wondering, how can I find one of these magical pennies? Well, the answer isn't as simple as just looking through your pocket change. But with a little patience, some knowledge, and maybe a trip to your local coin shop or flea market, you might just get lucky. And hey, even if you don't find a $1.7 million penny, there are tons of other coins out there with huge potential for value. So, if you want to stay updated on the latest tips and strategies for finding coins that could make you a small fortune, hit that subscribe button, because I'll be bringing you more valuable coin info soon. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next big find. I'm all about sharing these cool coin tips with you, and maybe one day, we'll both find ourselves holding a treasure that's worth more than we ever imagined. Thanks for tuning in, and happy hunting! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you found a rare coin of your own. Who knows, maybe your penny is the next big thing. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters! You might have a penny sitting in your pocket or a jar right now that could be worth a small fortune. Yep, we're talking about the 2006 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little guy could have more value than you think, and I'm about to explain why. So, sit tight, grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive into the fascinating world of pennies worth more than their face value. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, a penny? Seriously? What's the big deal? But stick with me. Trust me, you're going to want to know about this one. Imagine finding a penny that's worth $1.8 million. Yup, you heard that right. But here's the kicker, this isn't some rare, super ancient coin. It's a modern one, from just a few years ago. Let's get into it. First off, let's set the stage. The year is 2006. Back then, we were all living in a pre-smartphone world. Yes, there was life before Instagram. The 2006 penny was made just like any other penny that rolls off the production line. But, for some reason, one of them, well, a very select few of them ended up with a certain defect. And that defect is exactly why they're so valuable today. So, here's the deal with the 2006 no-mint mark penny. It was produced in the Philadelphia Mint, but for some reason, the mint mark got forgotten. Now, normally, every penny made in Philly has a little P stamped on it to show where it was made. But in a handful of cases, the P was left off. And while it seems like a tiny mistake, to coin collectors, it's the stuff of legends. And now, you're probably wondering how a missing P could make a penny worth $1.8 million. Well, as with many rare coins, it's all about scarcity. There are so few of these 2006 no-mint mark pennies that collectors are willing to pay big bucks for one. This is a classic case of less is more. If there's less of something, the value shoots up. People love rarity, and that little missing mint mark makes these coins more coveted than the newest iPhone. Let me tell you, when I first heard about this penny, I thought it was a joke. I mean, I've got a whole jar of pennies sitting in my kitchen. Some of them are so old, I'm convinced they could be the ancestors of Abraham Lincoln himself. So, when I first heard about this 2006 penny being worth almost $2 million, I thought, I've got to check my stash. I started pulling out pennies left and right, squinting at them like a detective looking for clues. Unfortunately, all I found was a bunch of 2007s and 2008s, not quite the jackpot I was hoping for. But hey, one can dream, right? Now, let's talk a bit about how you can actually spot a 2006 no-mint mark penny. Here's the thing, these pennies don't exactly look different from any other penny. They don't glow in the dark or come with a golden aura. So, you have to do a little detective work. Start by checking your 2006 pennies. You're looking for one that has no mint mark under the date. And keep in mind, it might not be easy to find one. This error is incredibly rare. But if you do come across one, congratulations. You might be holding on to the next big thing in the world of coins. Make sure you're not just holding on to a regular 2006 penny, try looking for some additional characteristics that can bump up its value. If it's in mint condition, meaning it's not scratched, worn, or too dirty, that's a huge plus. Also, if it has a strong strike, with clear details on Lincoln's profile, it's even more valuable. The condition of the coin can make or break its worth, so treat these little guys like royalty. And here's a fun fact, the 2006 no-mint mark penny is so valuable that people have sold them for anywhere between $1,000 and $1.8 million, depending on condition and rarity. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get that kind of money by checking the couch cushions, but hey, it's worth a shot. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who stumbled upon this video while searching for how to make easy money, here's the bottom line: keep an eye out for those 2006 no mint mark pennies. Who knows, maybe the next one you find could be worth more than your car. And if you're sitting on a lucky penny, remember that it's not just about the value, it's about the hunt. That feeling of finding a rare coin, knowing you've stumbled upon something special, is one of the coolest parts of coin collecting. But before you go rushing off to sift through your pennies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips on rare coins, market strategies, and all things valuable. I've got more great content coming your way to help you find hidden gems and turn your pocket change into serious cash. And who knows? Maybe in the next video, we'll talk about another coin worth millions. You'll want to stay tuned for that. Hey, have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this thing could make me a millionaire? Well, if you've got a 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny, you might want to check your pockets. Because some of these coins are worth way more than 1 cent. Yep, you heard that right. There's a 2009 Lincoln penny out there that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. And today, we're going to dive into why this coin is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what makes these little pieces of copper so special. And hey, even if you don't find one worth millions, don't worry, you might still come across one that could score you a few hundred or even thousands of dollars. So grab your jar of pennies, and let's get into it. When I first heard about valuable pennies, I scoffed. A penny? Making someone rich? Yeah, right. But then, I heard about a guy who found a rare penny in his car floor mat and sold it for thousands. After that, I became the weirdo who inspects every penny I get back as change. You never know when you're holding a goldmine in your hands, so why is the 2009 Lincoln penny even special? Well, in 2009, the U.S. Mint released a series of 4 different designs to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday. Yep, Honest Abe got a birthday party in the form of 4 different pennies: his humble beginnings in a log cabin, his formative years reading books and studying, his time as a young lawyer in Illinois, his presidency in Washington, D.C. Now, while these pennies are common, some of them have rare errors or special features that make them incredibly valuable. Alright, let's get to the juicy part. Not every 2009 Lincoln penny is going to make you rich, but some of them have major errors or rare qualities that make collectors go crazy. Here are the biggest ones. Some 2009 pennies were struck twice, causing the design to appear slightly doubled. This is called a double die error, and depending on how visible it is, it can make a penny worth thousands, or in this case, millions. Ever seen a coin where the design is slightly off-center? That happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during minting. Some 2009 pennies with extreme off-center strikes have sold for insane amounts. This is where things get really rare. Some 2009 Lincoln pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal, like a silver or copper nickel planchet instead of zinc. If you find one, you're looking at serious money. Even if your 2009 penny doesn't have an error, if it's in perfect condition, meaning it was never circulated, has no scratches, and looks fresh from the mint, it can still be worth thousands. Now, before you start dumping out your piggy bank, here's how you can check if you've got a jackpot penny. Look for doubling in the letters and design, especially Liberty and Lincoln's face. Check if the coin looks off-center or has a weird shape. Use a magnet. Some rare pennies were struck on the wrong metal and won't be magnetic if it looks extra shiny and perfect. Keep it. It could be a high-grade coin worth a lot, and if you're unsure, take it to a coin expert. Trust me, it's worth it. Okay, let's say you've hit the jackpot and found a valuable 2009 Lincoln penny. Where do you sell it? People are always looking for rare coins. They specialize in high-value coins, but make sure to get a second opinion so you don't get lowballed. Some collectors will pay top dollar directly, and remember, if your coin is worth serious money, get it professionally graded. That little plastic case with a certification can skyrocket its value. I used to ignore pennies. I mean, who cares about a penny when you've got quarters, right? But one day, I found a weird-looking 2009 Lincoln penny in my couch. It had a strange shine to it. I took it to a local coin shop, and guess what? It was worth $50. Okay, not millions, but still, $50 for a penny? That's when I realized how crazy valuable these little coins can be. Alright, so what did we learn today? That not all pennies are created equal. The 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny is a collector's dream, and if you've got one with the right error or in mint condition, you could be holding serious cash. So next time you get a penny and change, don't just toss it aside, check it. Who knows? You might just find your own $1.3 million jackpot. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe because I'll be covering more hidden treasure coins that you might already have in your collection. Hit that like button, leave a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential paydays. Today, we're talking about a penny that could make you a millionaire, the 1984 Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right. A simple, everyday penny from 1984 with a Denver mint mark has been sold for an astonishing $1.1 million. Now, I know what you're thinking, I've got a jar full of pennies at home. Am I secretly rich? Well, stick around because we're diving deep into what makes this particular penny so valuable, how to check if you have one, and of course, my own ridiculous experience with coin hunting that nearly got me kicked out of a grocery store. So, grab your piggy bank, because by the end of this video, you might just be calling your bank instead. Alright, let's start with a little background on the 1984 Lincoln penny. This coin was minted in Denver, which you can tell by the little d under the date. Millions of these pennies were made, so what makes one worth over $1 million? The answer: rare errors, high-grade conditions, and collector demand. The magic behind the $1 million penny. First up, let's talk about mint errors. Coins aren't always made perfectly, and when a mistake slips past quality control, collectors go wild. For the 1984 penny, one of the rarest errors is the double die obverse, DDO, where Lincoln's face or the lettering appears slightly duplicated. It's like the coin has a shadow effect, and if you find one, congratulations, you just found treasure. But wait, there's more. Condition is key. Most pennies have been through vending machines, dropped in parking lots, or chewed on by toddlers, no judgment. But if you happen to find a 1984 penny in pristine condition, graded MS68 or higher, you're looking at the big bucks. That $1 million sale? It was for a nearly flawless, high-grade coin. How to check if you have one now? Let's get practical. You don't need fancy tools, just your eyes, a magnifying glass, and good lighting. If the letters, especially Liberty or In God We Trust, seem doubled, you might have a rare DDO. Check the mint mark. It must have the D mint mark below the year 1984. Condition matters. If it's bright, shiny, and looks untouched, you might have a high-grade coin. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. That small investment could mean the difference between pocket change and a life-changing payday. Speaking of finding valuable coins, let me tell you about the time I nearly embarrassed myself in a grocery store. I was at the checkout, and the cashier handed me some change. I saw a 1984 penny and literally screamed. People around me probably thought I'd won the lottery. I'm holding up the line, inspecting this penny under my phone light, while the cashier looks at me like I've lost my mind. It wasn't the rare double die, just a normal penny. But hey, that's the thrill of the hunt, right? One day, it could be the one. The 1984 Lincoln penny could be worth over $1.1 million, but only if it has a rare mint error and is in top-notch condition. If you have a jar of pennies at home, it's time to go treasure hunting, and if you love learning about valuable coins, rare finds, and how to make money from your pocket change, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I post weekly videos on rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and money-making tips you won't want to miss. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this, and drop a comment below. What's the rarest coin you've ever found? Who knows, you might already be sitting on a hidden fortune. Hey, coin lovers! Imagine this: you're digging through your change jar, maybe about to buy a coffee or feed a parking meter, and bam! You spot an ordinary-looking 1992 penny. But what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? That's right. A single penny, worth more than a Lamborghini, a luxury home, or an entire year's supply of tacos, depending on your priorities. Now, before you start rating your couch cushions, let me break it down for you. Today, we're diving deep into the 1992 Lincoln penny, why it's so rare, what makes it valuable, and how you can check if you have one. Plus, I'll share a quick story about the time I nearly threw away a valuable coin without even knowing it. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be sprinting to check your piggy bank. Alright, let's start with the big question: what makes this penny so special? Well, it all comes down to a tiny detail that most people wouldn't even notice: the close AM error. For context, the Lincoln Memorial pennies from 1992 typically have a small gap between the A and M in America on the reverse, the tail side. But on this rare variety, the letters are too close together, almost touching. It was a design intended for the 1993 pennies, but somehow, a few 1992 D coins were struck with this error before the official design change. This was not supposed to happen, and that's what makes these pennies worth so much. A normal 1992 D penny? Maybe a couple of cents. But a 1992 D close AM? A collector's dream. To put it into perspective, out of the billions of pennies minted in 1992, only a handful of these close AM varieties have been discovered. And when I say a handful, I mean fewer than 20 confirmed examples. That's rarer than me actually remembering where I put my car keys, and because coin collectors go crazy for these kinds of errors, the price skyrockets at auctions. In fact, one of these pennies in pristine condition, graded MS67, sold for over $1.2 million. Even ones in lesser condition have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Alright, so now you're probably thinking, how do I know if I have this golden ticket of a penny? It's actually pretty easy. Look at the reverse, back side, grab a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom feature and check the spacing between the A and M in America. If they're far apart? Sorry, just a regular penny. But if they're almost touching? Hold on to that thing for dear life. The D under the date should be there, meaning it was minted in Denver. If your penny is scratched up, it won't be worth as much. But even a well-worn 1992 D close AM penny can still fetch thousands. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. A few years back, I was rolling up some change to cash in at the bank. I wasn't really paying attention, just tossing pennies into the rolls like I was some kind of coin rolling champion who's way more into coins than I was at the time. Goes, dude, let me see that one. He grabs a penny from my pile, squints at it, and goes, you almost just tossed a $10,000 penny into the bank deposit. Turns out, I had a valuable error coin. Not the 1992 D close AM, unfortunately, but still a coin worth way more than 1 cent. That moment changed everything for me. I started checking every single penny that came through my hands. And you should too. So, what did we learn today? The 1992 D Lincoln penny with the close AM error is insanely rare, and if you happen to find one, you might just become an overnight millionaire. All it takes is a little attention to detail and a lot of luck. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go check your pennies. Seriously, pause this video and start looking. If you find one, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your coin treasure hunt stories. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe for more tips on valuable coins, collecting strategies, and how to turn spare change into big money. Who knows? Your next lucky penny might just be worth a fortune. Alright, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change for a snack, and you come across a penny. You toss it aside, thinking, just another 1-cent coin. But what if I told you that same penny, if it's a 1990 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, could be worth $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny. 1 cent worth over $1 million. Now, before you run to your coin jar like a mad scientist looking for treasure, stick with me, because today, we're diving into the mystery, the rarity, and the downright unbelievable value of the 1990 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Plus, I'll share a personal story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin, biggest mistake of my life. So, hit that like button, subscribe if you love coin hunting content, and let's crack the code on this $1 million penny. So, what's the deal with this tiny copper coin? Well, in 1990, the US Mint made a small but crucial error. Most pennies from that year were struck with a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco. But a few sneaky ones left the mint without a letter at all, no D, no S, just a blank space under the date. That, my friends, is where the magic happens, and now, at first glance, it looks like any regular penny. I mean, it's not made of gold, it doesn't have diamonds embedded in it, and it doesn't glow in the dark, sadly. But because of its rarity and high demand among collectors, it's worth a fortune. Here's the thing, nobody knows exactly how many of these no-mint mark 1990 pennies exist. Some say only a handful, while others believe there are a few thousand floating around in circulation. The best part? Most people don't even know they have one. It's like finding a winning lottery ticket and using it to buy gum. The time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Now, let me tell you about a time I almost had a heart attack. A few years ago, I was rolling up some pennies to take to the bank because, adulting. I had a whole pile of them and wasn't paying much attention. But just as I was about to seal one of the rolls, I noticed something odd. One of the pennies looked a little different. The date was clear, but there was no mint mark underneath. I hesitated for a second but shrugged it off, thinking, it's probably nothing. But my gut told me to double check. I pulled out my phone, did a quick Google search, and boom. My jaw hit the floor. It was a rare no mint mark penny, not the 1991, but still worth a couple $100. Imagine if I had tossed it in with the rest. That was the day I learned never to underestimate small change. Alright, now let's talk about how you can find one of these gems in your pocket change. Here's what to look for. Make sure it's a 1990 penny. If it says 1989 or 1991, keep looking. Look below the date. If you see a D or an S, sorry, no jackpot for you. But if it's completely blank, you might have a winner. Condition matters. If your coin is super worn out, it may not be worth as much. But if it's in pristine condition, we're talking big money, alright? The big question, how much can you actually make from this penny? Well, one in nearly perfect condition sold for a whopping $1.3 million at auction. Even lower grade versions can sell for thousands. So, next time you're about to toss a penny aside, stop. It could be your ticket to an early retirement. So, what did we learn today? Never ignore a penny, always check for mint marks, and most importantly, your spare change could be hiding a fortune. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more tips on finding valuable coins, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about money-making treasures hiding in your pocket. And hey, if you find a 1990 no mint mark penny, let me know in the comments. You never know, you might just become the next lucky collector to cash in. Alright, folks, imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change, maybe enough for a coffee. You pull out a penny, and boom, it's worth $1.4 million. What would you do? Buy a house? Take a vacation? Finally pay off that one parking ticket from 2012? Well, today, we're talking about the 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny that has been making waves in the coin collecting world. Yes, a modern penny, not some ancient treasure, just a regular old penny that most people wouldn't think twice about. But this one? This one is different. So stick around because I'm going to break down why this penny is so valuable, how you can tell if you have one, and what makes rare pennies like this worth big money. Plus, I'll share a little personal story about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Rookie mistake, the value, the rarity, and the story. Why is the 2015 no mint mark penny worth $1.40 million? So, what's the deal with this penny? It looks like every other penny you see lying on the sidewalk, right? Well, not exactly. It's missing a mint mark. Usually, pennies from 2015 have a D4 Denver or a P4 Philadelphia. But some were minted without any mint mark at all. That's a big deal. It's a major minting error. The US Mint makes billions of pennies, but mistakes are super rare. This particular error? Almost unheard of. It's in perfect condition. The highest value 2015 no mint mark pennies are graded at MS 70, mint state 70, meaning they're flawless. The better the condition, the higher the price, and the market? Oh, it's hot for rare coins right now. Collectors and investors are snatching up rare finds like this penny, driving up prices. One sold for $1.4 million at auction. Now, here's where it gets interesting. These pennies are still out there. You might have one sitting in a piggy bank, in a pile of loose change, or, heaven forbid, at the bottom of your car's cup holder covered in soda and regret. There should be no anything shinier. The better consider professional grading. If it looks perfect, getting it graded could turn it into $1 million coin. A personal coin horror story now. Let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. A few years ago, I found a really shiny 1982 penny. Didn't think much of it, just tossed it into a jar. Later, I saw a news article about a rare 1982 penny selling for six figures. I rushed to check my jar, but I had already used the change for a vending machine snack. I paid $100,000 for a bag of chips. Ever since then, I've been obsessed with checking my change. And you should be too, because you never know what treasure you might be holding. Alright, so now you know that the 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be life-changing money. So, before you spend your change on something silly, like I did, check your pennies. You might be holding onto a small fortune without even realizing it, and if you love finding money in unexpected places, make sure to subscribe because I'm always dropping new videos on rare and valuable coins you can find in your pocket right now. Hit that like button, drop a comment if you've ever found a cool coin, and share this with a friend because who wouldn't want to know their pocket change could make them a millionaire? Alright, let's talk about something crazy, how a tiny, everyday penny could be worth $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. Imagine digging through your couch cushions and stumbling upon a life-changing coin. It sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to a guy I know. He thought he had just another old penny, tossed it in his change jar, and forgot about it. Fast forward a few months, he decided to check his coins after watching a video, kinda like this one, and boom, he found out he had a rare 1982 Lincoln penny worth a small fortune. I mean, talk about luck, you could have won too and not even realize it. So today, we're diving deep into what makes this 1982 penny so valuable, how to spot one, and what you should do if you think you've got the jackpot in your pocket. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just want to start checking every single penny you come across. Let's get into it. Okay, so what's the deal with this penny? The 1982 Lincoln penny is valuable because of a major minting error. In 1982, the US Mint switched from using 95% copper to a zinc core with a thin copper coating to save money. But during this transition, some pennies were mistakenly struck using the older copper planchet. That mix-up is what makes these coins so rare. Only a handful exist, and collectors are willing to drop insane amounts of cash to get their hands on one. Here's where things get interesting. You might be sitting on a regular 1982 penny, or you could have one of these ultra-rare, life-changing ones. So how do you check? Look for the D mint mark, it should be right under the date. This means it was minted in Denver. Weigh the coin. The regular zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams, while the rare copper ones weigh 3.1 grams. So if your 1982 penny is on the heavier side, you just hit the jackpot. The sound test, okay, this one's a little old school, but if you drop a copper penny on a hard surface, it makes a higher pitched ringing sound compared to a dull thud from a zinc penny. Not the most scientific method, but hey, it works in a pinch. So, let's say you just checked your 1982 penny, and it weighs 3.1 grams. What now? Well, you don't just walk into your local bank and expect them to cut you $1 million check. Instead, here's what you should do. You'll need a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to certify your coin's authenticity. Coins like these go for top dollar at major coin auctions, where collectors fight over them like it's Black Friday. If you want a faster sale, you can try eBay, heritage auctions, or even reach out to collectors directly. Just make sure you know what you're doing so you don't get scammed. You might be thinking, come on, how likely is it that I actually have one of these? And I get it, finding a rare coin like this is a bit like winning the lottery. People do find them. In fact, just a few years ago, a collector sold a 1982 copper penny for over $1 million. And let's not forget my buddy who almost tossed his rare penny into a vending machine for a pack of gum. Imagine the heartbreak if he had done that, so don't assume these rare pennies are impossible to find. You might have one sitting in your piggy bank right now. That if you have a 1982 penny, check for that D mint mark, weigh it, and get it authenticated if it's heavier than normal. That little coin could be the key to an early retirement, and if you love learning about valuable coins, you do not want to miss what I've got coming up next. I've got more videos on coins that could be hiding in your pocket, worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin before. I'd love to hear your stories. Oh, and next time you get change at the store, don't just shove it in your pocket and forget about it. Check those pennies, you might just be holding a small fortune. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever looked at a regular old penny and thought, this thing might be worth a fortune? Well, let me tell you, sometimes it is. Today, we're diving into the story of a 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's making collectors lose their minds. Why? Because one of these little copper beauties sold for a jaw-dropping $1.60 million. So, grab your coin jars, get comfortable, and let's break down what makes this penny so special, how to spot one, and what to do if you actually find it. Oh, and stick around because I'll also share a story about the time I almost spent a valuable coin on a vending machine snack. Spoiler alert, it still haunts me. Why is this 2015 penny so valuable? Now, before you start digging through your couch cushions, let's talk about what makes this penny worth more than a house. The 2015 Lincoln Penny is pretty common, you probably have a bunch of them in your pocket right now. But, as always, the magic is in the details. This particular 2015 no mint mark penny is special because of an ultra-rare minting error. And when I say rare, I mean finding a 4-leaf clover while winning the lottery rare. Some of these pennies were mistakenly struck on a copper planchet instead of the usual copper-plated zinc. That's right, someone at the mint slipped up, and now collectors are throwing down serious cash to get their hands on these errors. Okay, so how do you check if your 2015 penny is the one? Here's what to do. A regular 2015 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. The rare copper version weighs 3.1 grams. So, if you've got a food scale or a jeweler's scale, weigh it, look at the color. The rare ones have a slightly deeper, richer copper color than your average penny. Do the sound test. Drop a normal penny and a copper one on a hard surface. If yours has a more distinct, bell-like ring to it, you might have a winner. Get it professionally graded. If you think you've got the golden ticket send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication now. Imagine this scenario. You're at a gas station. You buy a pack of gum. You casually hand over a penny that could have paid off your car. This actually happened to a guy in 2019. He found a 2015 copper penny in his pocket, spent it on a soda, and later saw the news that one had just sold for over $1 million. Oof. That's the kind of regret that keeps you up at night. Alright, here's the $1 million, or should I say $1.6 million question. How much can you actually get for one of these? If your 2015 penny is one of the rare copper errors, you're looking at $50,000 to over $1.6 million, depending on its condition. Not if it's in good condition, aka it's seen some life in pockets and cash registers. It could still be worth tens of thousands. If it's uncirculated or in mint condition, congratulations, you're rich now. Before you start planning your new sports car purchase, remember that these coins must be verified by professionals. So don't go quitting your job just yet. That 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny in your pocket could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Look for the weight difference, color, and sound. If you think you have one, get it graded. Don't be the person who accidentally spends it on a candy bar. Imagine explaining that to your grandkids. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I've got more money-making coin tips coming your way. If you love learning about valuable coins, drop a comment below and let me know. What's the most interesting coin you've ever found? Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Who knows? Your next penny could be your first $1 million coin. Hey, what's up, coin hunters? Ever dreamt of finding a penny worth a fortune? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving into the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yes, that little copper beauty that's secretly worth $1.7 million. That's right, a single penny, the kind you might have tossed in a vending machine or left in your couch cushions, could actually be worth more than a sports car, a house, or even a lifetime supply of coffee. Now, before you go sprinting to your penny jar, let's break it all down: why this coin is worth so much, what makes it special, and how you can spot one. Plus, I've got a crazy story about a guy who almost lost his fortune over one of these. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. So, smash that like button, grab your magnifying glass, and let's talk about one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever minted. Alright, let's start with the basics. In 1976, the US Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most had a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco. But then, there's the sneaky no mint mark version, struck in Philadelphia. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny, same design, same copper color. But here's the kicker: some of these were struck on the wrong planchet, some had doubling errors, and a few were preserved in pristine condition. Those factors combined make them incredibly rare and insanely valuable. And now, let me tell you a wild story. A few years ago, a guy, let's call him Joe, was cleaning out his grandpa's old coin collection. He found this dusty, unassuming penny and thought, just another old coin. He was this close to tossing it into a Coinstar machine, but something told him to check it out first. He Googled rare pennies, found a match, and took it to a coin dealer. And guess what? That little copper coin was appraised at $1.7 million. $1.7 million. Now, imagine if Joe had just tossed that into the take a penny leave a penny tray at the gas station. Someone could have bought a pack of gum with a coin worth more than a mansion. Moral of the story? Check your change, People, how to spot a valuable 1976 no mint mark penny if there's a little D or S under the date. Sorry, but you're out of luck. No mint mark is what you want. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers. If things look a little blurry, you might have a double die error. Some of these were accidentally struck on nickel or silver planchets. If your penny looks way too shiny or doesn't weigh the standard 3.11 grams, it's time to investigate. The closer your coin is to looking brand new, the higher the value. If it's been chilling in a coin folder for decades, untouched by human hands, you're in luck. Where to sell your 1976 no mint mark penny? If you think you've got a rare one, don't just run to your nearest pawn shop. Here's where you'll get top dollar professional coin grading services. Get it authenticated before selling. A graded coin is worth way more than an unverified one. Heritage auctions and Stacksbowers have sold rare pennies for crazy amounts. eBay, but be careful, scammers are everywhere. Always sell through reputable dealers or auction sites. First, check your pennies. The little copper coin in your pocket might be worth more than your car. Second, know what to look for. Errors, no mint mark, and pristine condition are key. And third, don't make Joe's mistake. Before you toss your pennies into a vending machine, do a little research. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop new videos all the time, helping you spot rare coins, understand market trends, and maybe, just maybe, turn your pocket change into a fortune. Also, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's hear those crazy stories. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Imagine finding a penny in your loose change, only to discover it's worth $1.8 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, hold on to your piggy banks, because today we're talking about the 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a simple little coin that could secretly be worth a fortune. Now, before you start digging through your couch cushions, let me tell you, this isn't just any penny. There are key details that make this one special, and if you don't know what to look for, you might just spend a small fortune at the vending machine. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin valuable and whether you might have one hiding in plain sight. And hey, if you love learning about rare coins that could change your life, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a chance to turn pocket change into big bucks. Before we get into the money talk, let's take a quick trip back to 1963. This was the year the Beatles were rising to fame. Gas was 30 cents a gallon, and you could grab a brand new car for around $3,000, about the same price as some fancy toasters today. Now, the 1963 penny was part of the classic Lincoln Wheat series, made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It was one of the last years before the switch to the Lincoln Memorial design, so these pennies hold a special place in numismatic history. But what makes this one so incredibly valuable? Not every 1963 penny is worth millions, so what makes this one a jackpot? There are three major reasons. That's right. No little D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, just a clean, simple penny. While this may seem normal, since the Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark back then, some rare error coins exist where the minting process caused unique variations that collectors go crazy for. Some of these pennies have serious minting errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks, even though there's supposed to be none. These errors make a coin one of a kind, and when collectors are on the hunt, the price can skyrocket. If your 1963 penny looks like it's been through a war, scratched, dirty, or bent, it's probably just worth face value. But if you have a flawless, high-grade penny with sharp details and a bright copper shine, you could be looking at serious cash. A 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny in MS67 condition recently sold for $1.80 million. Let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, was absolutely obsessed with coin collecting. One day, we were at a flea market, and he saw a box of old pennies for sale. He paid $5 for the whole thing. I laughed and told him he probably just bought someone's childhood piggy bank. Fast forward a couple of weeks, Dave calls me, screaming into the phone. He found a 1963 no mint mark penny with a rare double die error. He got it graded, and guess what? He ended up selling it for 6 figures. All from a random flea market purchase. You never know when a penny might actually be worth a fortune. So, there you have it, the 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that might just change your life. If you're sitting on a jar of pennies, start looking. Check for no mint marks, minting errors, and pristine condition. Who knows? You might just be holding onto a hidden millionaire's treasure, and if you love learning about valuable coins, smash that like button and subscribe for more tips on how to spot rare and valuable change. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? I'd love to hear your stories. Alright, folks, let's talk about something that might just change the way you look at your spare change forever. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, fishing for some spare change for a vending machine snack, and you pull out a humble 2009 Lincoln penny. You think, it's just a penny, but hold on, what if I told you that this little copper coin could be worth up to $1.40 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Today, we're diving into the shocking world of the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny, why some of these coins are worth an absolute fortune, and how you can check if you have one of these gold mines sitting in your pocket. So grab your coin jars, get comfy, and let's get into it. Now, before you start flipping over every penny you see, let's take a little trip down memory lane. The year 2009 was a big deal in the world of US currency because it marked the 200th birthday of Abraham Lincoln and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. To celebrate, the US Mint released 4 special reverse designs, each representing a different stage of Honest Abe's life. This one shows a simple log cabin, representing Lincoln's humble beginnings in Kentucky. Here, we see young Abe taking a break from splitting logs to read a book, a nod to his self-education. This one showcases the old Illinois state capitol, symbolizing Lincoln's time as a lawyer and politician. The final design features the unfinished U.S. Capitol dome, signifying the Civil War and the challenges Lincoln faced as president. Now, most of these pennies are just regular pocket change. But, and this is where it gets interesting, some rare errors and special mint varieties have made certain 2009 pennies extremely valuable. Let me introduce you to the holy grail of 2009 pennies, the special error coins and rare minting varieties. Here are the key ones that could make you a small fortune. This happens when the design is struck twice, slightly off alignment. If Lincoln's features or the lettering look like they have a shadow, you might have a rare double die. Some pennies were struck off-center, making them extremely rare and collectible. A few 2009 pennies were accidentally struck on foreign or older planchets, coin blanks. If your penny looks weirdly thick or different in color, get it checked. High-grade mint state coins, MS67 and above, even without errors, some flawless, uncirculated 2009 pennies can sell for thousands, sometimes even reaching that jaw-dropping $1.4 million mark. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years back, my uncle, who's a bit of a hoarder, love you, Uncle Joe, was cleaning out his garage when he found an old jar of pennies. He was about to dump the whole thing into a Coinstar machine when I stopped him and said, "Wait. Let me check these first." Lo and behold, I pulled out a 2009 Lincoln penny with a doubling error. We got it graded, and it ended up selling for over $4,500. Not a million, but still, that's a pretty sweet return for a penny. Alright, folks, we've covered a lot today: why the 2009 Lincoln penny is special, what to look for, and how some of these little coins can be worth a fortune. If you've got some spare time this weekend, grab a magnifying glass and start checking your penny stash. Who knows? You might be sitting on a life-changing jackpot without even knowing it. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss my next video on rare coins worth big bucks. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable coin in your change? I'd love to hear your stories.